Hey, I've been meaning to do a pool update video for at least 5 years. I've had the pool 10 years. It's a semi above ground pool. I put it in 10 years ago. I wanted to do an update 5 years ago because I replaced the pool liner. And I don't know, I may still do a video on that. I have a lot of video on that and I just never put it together. It isn't actually that complex to do for my pool. By the way, this pool is 12 by 18. It's oval shaped, which I really like. And as I say, I've had it for 10 years. We dug and leveled the yard over here. Did all the landscaping and everything. We did it all. Mostly me. A little help from my son digging. Anyway, 5 years ago I thought it was time to replace the liner. And it was COVID. And you could not find liners for this size. So I had to buy a size that was 1 foot longer, I believe. And that's why there are wrinkles in the liner. You can see them here. They're called curtaining, I guess they called it that. Looks like curtains. So on this corner, you have curtains. But I don't care. I was not going to wait for people to get their heads together for COVID for the liners to come in. Because I wanted a pool. And I would have had no pool until the inventory came back. So it worked out fine. I don't care about a little wrinkle here and there. Nobody else does either. So the floor it doesn't feel wrinkled at all. So this is a 18 by 12 oval, and I think I had to buy a 19 by 12. And so with that you have a little bit of wrinkling. Anyway, another thing I did on this pool, and this is a very radical idea, but I think it works out well for me. If you notice, this pool is skimmerless. I used to have a skimmer here, and it was nothing but problems for me. I don't know if it was because it was on this curve. It would always leak. I would get rust on the side of the pool. And so I'll put a picture up and show you that I eliminated the skimmer altogether, and I have no regrets. All I have is this inlet. Little screen. That does all the inlet work. I can attach a hose to that just fine. And for the outlet, I forgot what this is called. These are on Amazon, and I cannot remember what they're called. But there's just a little sock on the end. And so the outgoing water goes through this tube, and it has this little floater. The only thing, you have to have something against the wall so it doesn't mess up the liner. Over time, it rubs it. So I devised a little solution for that. Anyway, it's been going like this for 5 years, and I do not miss having a skimmer whatsoever. It was nothing but problems for me. And yeah, this is the way to go. I don't know what spawned me to do it. I didn't see anyone else doing this. Maybe it doesn't work for people with a larger pool size, but works great for me. It's a little messy back here, but as far as the pump, I just buy these cheap Intex pumps. I have it covered because if you let it get rained on over time, they short out on you. And I have attached it to my old original filter here, canister filter. So I got double the filter work on this. And then I teed it off so that I could have my fountain, which I created this tiki carving because that's what I do. And I'm doing this video at this time because this time of year, the plants are just going gangbusters. This is when they start thriving, and in the wintertime they start dying off. And so this is when they're, look at that, full bloom. Giant bird of paradise looking great. The only regret I have here is this palm tree drops pollen and seeds into the pool seasonally, and so I got to get rid of that tree. It's just becoming such a pain to clean this after that happens. We do get a lot of rain here in South Texas, so I drilled a hole. This was hard to do emotionally, but I drilled a hole through the liner and through the wall, and for years I was just pumping out the overflow whenever we had real hard rains, which is fairly common. And now I don't have to do it anymore. It gets to this level and it drains out through a tube and down the slope. There's a hose down there somewhere that it comes out of. The pool is a little bit green because we had some rain this week, but I'm getting better at preventing algal blooms. Just over the years you get better at the chemistry. I think the reason why my liner only lasted 5 years is because I was ignoring it, just adding nothing but chlorine and not paying attention to pH. And hopefully it lasts a little longer. We're at the 5-year mark on this next liner, so I'm hoping it lasts longer than 5 years. If not, it's not as intimidating to do the job, even though it's terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, it's just inconvenient because I use this pool all year long. The cool thing is we don't get freezes, and if we do, it's rare. When we have, I've just left the pool pump on, and the pipes don't freeze if you keep the pool pump on, and we're talking about a day for it to ever get that cold. And the cool thing about that is I like doing what I will call polar plunges. And so 40-degree pool in the winter, I'm out here at night and I take that plunge and I never regret it. I always dread it and I never regret it. So I use it all season. Pool plunges in the winter, and then I do a lot of outdoor projects and I get hot and I just use it as a plunge pool for cooling off, because working out in the summer here is hot, 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 and I'm always working on something. I use it way more than anyone else in the family, but when family members come in, we use this cool little net I put up. So it was originally like a diving platform, and it still could be, but nobody was using it, so I just put the basketball hoop here. We would not want to put the basketball hoop over here, because into the canal it would go if you have a bad shot, which I always do. And so this is my humble little plunge pool. Best money I ever spent. I mean, it was cheap. I'm talking $5 grand at the time. It was 10 years ago. It was by that internet company. It was called, oh gosh. Oh god. What is it called? It's on the internet. I had to look it up. It's the Pool Factory. So, they did a great job. It was so easy. They just shipped it out, big giant box, and this is all the room I had for it. So they have so many different sizes, and I'm pushing it a little against that fence. Haven't had any complaints, but it's a cool company because you can get all kinds of different sizes, and likely you'll have a size for your space. And you know, the space I do have on the other side probably wouldn't be that much bigger if I were to put in an underground pool, and the cost would be astronomical. We got quotes, and yeah, the price was so right on this. If I have to replace the liner once in a while, that's a-okay, the money I saved. And I'm not here to impress anyone with my underground pool just yet. Maybe one day. But this does the job for me, and this is just, for me, takes the edge off really, really hot summers. It's a cool hangout. And like I said, it is semi above ground. And when I took the liner out 5 years ago, the wall was in pretty good shape. It wasn't, I mean, it has a little bit of rust here and there that I repaired. But it's holding up pretty well. And that's my only fear, is that one day I'll have to replace the entire wall. And that would not be fun, because this is just buried in halfway in sand, and that's going to probably collapse when I do that, which means I'll probably have to redig a lot of this hole to replace the wall. But if I have the means, maybe I'll do a proper below ground pool by then. I don't know. Right now it's holding up, so I'm not planning for that yet, because this is doing the job. And I'm mostly the only one that swims around here. Not sure why that is, but I'm fine. I'm happy in my little pool. I also have this cheap $50 robot that I got for Christmas last year for cleaning the pool. It's made for above ground pools, and it's actually, I'm surprised it lasted this long. I thought, oh, let's just try, we'll get a cheap one. And you know, it is cheap, but it's still working, and it does make things a little easier as far as maintaining the pool. You know, the brands change on these all the time. They're just cheap foreign made jobs that they probably the same robot but different names as they sell them for different prices. And it's actually pretty cool, and it goes for about 90 minutes. The battery's still going for a fair amount of time. It just takes the edge off of the cleaning. You don't have to do a deep cleaning all the time. You can just run this thing. So maybe I'll get a new one this year. It's probably going to last at least a year, so it's not too bad. And I'm glad I got it. It's pretty cool, but it probably won't last year after year. So I don't know if I'm going to get another cheap one or try a more expensive one. We'll see. Anyway, that's the robot. We drop off into a pretty good slope here, so this is built on the edge. Kind of gives it a good effect when you're looking down on the water. But it was challenging to level this off because it's on a slope, and so this area had to be nice and level, because if you don't level an above ground, semi above ground pool, if it's not level, it looks terrible, and it will always look terrible. You'll have this unevenness about it that it's hard not to notice. So thankfully my first try worked out. And if there is any difference in level, it is not noticeable. What they say is if it's over 2 inches, then it's very noticeable. So maybe mine is either perfect or very slight as far as discrepancy in level, but thankfully it's not noticeable at all, whatever it is. I think it worked out just fine. I'll just explain as thorough as I can the changing of the liner. All of the coping has to be removed. Keep your screws. After that's done, there is a channel that has to be removed that holds up the liner. Also, I had to add some liner on this side because when I installed it, this liner was starting to pull back and it wanted to pop out. So I took some vinyl cement and added liner so it wouldn't pop through. And so that was a cheat. It's a hack job, but it's been working. Anyway, the old liner the pool has to be drained, obviously. Using whatever method you can. I'm lucky I'm on a slope. I could siphon most of it. And then old liner gets ripped out by any means necessary. A lot of cutting. And then you have to make sure that if you want to have a floor underneath your liner, which I recommend because it's nice and soft and it keeps from weeds and roots coming up. And I would recommend getting a felt floor underneath, and that's what I did. It's a pain, but it's worth it. And then, as I said over here, I took the skimmer out and I put a plate of galvanized steel. I think it was stainless. They recommend stainless. And I put the stainless steel plate in and cut one small hole in there. And then the steel plate goes in between. Where does it go? Yeah, it goes between the wall and the liner. You got to make sure that's stuck up there good. And then any rust you can find, you got to do your best to repair it. Grind it out and then paint it over. And then you got to drop in the new liner. Get all the wrinkles out that you can. And you start filling. And when I started filling, I noticed that this side was too short. So I added liner to that side. And it worked. Thankfully it worked, or else I would have had to drain it and shift everything over again. So, does it have mistakes? It sure does. Does anyone care? No, they don't. You're the only one that knows. You gotta put all the coping back. And there's nothing like a fresh, brand new pool liner and water. I'll have to do this again, but not this year. Anyway, that's it. Update on the semi above ground pool. Happy splashing.